Hello everybody, it's me Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. Like I said before, man, September is just one of those months where they just keep puking out games, and most of them so far pretty damn good. Well, the next one I'm doing on the roster is this little known game. You might not have heard of it. Came out of nowhere. It's this little known game I've never heard of called Borderlands 3. Of course, I'm kidding. You all knew by the thumbnail what I was going to be reviewing. Borderlands 3. Well, what can I say about this title? Now, keep in mind this review is putting aside any of the controversy involving the BS with whatever happened with the company, and I'm strictly basing my review off this game compared to the first two. Is Borderlands 3 a true sequel in all the best ways possible, or is it just another cash grab that they just want to get your money for all that paid DLC? Well, stay tuned to my epic review of Borderlands 3 to find out. Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with a game review, this time for a little known game that no one's ever heard about called Borderlands 3. It was developed by Gearbox and published by 2K Games and was just released on September 13th of 2019 on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Now keep in mind this does include a rather hefty day one patch. I gotta let people know that because I do have some subscribers that actually like to know if there's a patch or not. What to say of this game other than the fact that I'm sure everybody's heard everything about it? I'll get right into it without spoiling any sort of plot or anything. It is once again the ultimate looter shooter returning once again, where you can play alone or up to 4 other players as you go around doing missions, killing baddies, and getting loot from chests and enemies as you go. Now, as for the main feature of this game, hands down, has always been the guns. Now, they have so many different procedurally generated parts that even after 30 plus hours of playing this game, I am still getting unique item drops, different weapons with alternate abilities and everything. Honestly, they claim that this game has over 1 billion guns. I can't say there's 1 billion, but I can probably say with the way they generate this stuff, there's enough versatility with the way they design this to where the guns will be indefinitely different each time. And now, as for the unique Vault Hunter classes, this time you have your 4 main characters. You play as Amara, who's the Siren, Flak, who is the Beastmaster, Mose, which is the Gunner, and Zane, who is the Operative. And each has their own set of 3 different skill trees. So you can mix and match and build your character any way you want. It's actually quite a robust set of skill trees for each character. And I've found through being able to play through, the hardest part with this game is really sticking true to what you want to do when build your character. There's a lot more options than there should be, but I am not complaining about that. Now, as for the main characters, you have Amara. Well, the best way to describe is she does the high damage attacks and has elemental attacks and a phasing ability. Flak is basically into robot pals and buffs. Mose is pretty much the version of Gunzerker in this game with close combat and explosive damage. And you can also have defense, and you also get a big-ass, badass giant mech that other people can even ride on. And Zane pretty much is this game's version of the Assassin, where you can focus on critical hits and precision. But like I said, most of these guys, their skill trees are so branching and different. There's so much variable, moves you can pick. You can custom make your character to where you don't have to strictly actually be on critical hits and precision if you don't want. It's actually a very, very well done system. Now, the main draw with this game is the overall size of the game, and I have to say, for its roughly give or take a little over 30 hours long main story campaign, you'll travel to 4 different planets on your adventure doing the main story missions and everything. We got Pandora, Promethea, Athens, and Eden 6. Once you get a little far enough along, you'll get a ship, and you and your core hosts can go and fly around and go to different planets and do a bunch of stuff. Now, like I said, this game is, give or take, at least with the main story missions, about 30 hours long or so, and it is a full-priced experience at the $60 price mark. Now, a lot of things I have to point out with this game have to do with the fact that graphics-wise, it does look nice and clean. I love the way the graphics look, but it once again has that cel-shaded look, and it leads to certain things like textures that kind of pop in. It's nowhere near as bad as it used to be in like the first and second game, but it's still noticeable, but it's definitely not anything that's going to mess the game up for you. Now, a lot of people worried that once you beat the main story mode, what else is there to do? Well, I can fortunately say there's a good amount of endgame content, not including the upcoming DLC that they planned for this game. You have Circle of Slaughter, which is basically your Horde mode. That's what it is. Then you have True Vault Hunter mode, where you can start over and carry over your character with all his skill points, weapons, and you can even level up even more and actually get new drops even that way. And of course, you have Mayhem mode, where it will bump the loot quality up to over 200%. That's interesting. And as you actually beat the game, then from that point when endgame, you can start unlocking what's known as Guardian ranks, where basically, similar to how the one game was, you can pretty much play endgame content. Well, this time you'll get these specialized Guardian ranks. That's for bragging rights and also even new abilities even then after the end game, which is actually quite impressive, the amount of content that's in this game. Now, along with the 4-player online co-op, you can play it in single mode, and you can play it with a buddy on your couch in split screen mode, which I found to be a very welcome addition to the overall package. Now, I played this on the PS4 Pro, and it gives you some special options to either run it in a higher resolution or to have a better frame rate. So it's nice they give you those options. I chose to run it in a better frame rate so the game runs smoother instead of a higher res. Now, and the other big thing with this is the two different variations of the online mode. You have basically what's known as co-op mode. Well, you have level item drops for each of your characters, and you will get your own loot. Or you can play it in competition mode, where it is basically like the classic game's form of free-for-all. Whoever gets to the loot first and gobbles it up gets to keep the loot. Honestly, I lost a couple friends to free-for-all mode, so I love the fact that they give you the option of the co-op mode in this, to where if you don't want to play where you just gobble everything up, you can actually focus and not have to worry about other people snagging all the loot, and you'll still get tons of loot that's based off the level of what character you have as you go through. And like I said earlier, the one main thing with this game is the story. It's got a really good story. I love the characters, how they have them in this. They have very well established characters, and they have some different options you can do in terms of making the game better for you to play in terms of their control and stuff like that. And the weapons, hands down, like I said, after playing for 30 plus hours on this game and getting into the end game before I actually got the physical release copy version, honestly, I was astounded by just the amount of variation in all the weapons, including all the animations on them and the alternate firing modes. Just about every gun has some sort of alternate firing mode on top of the regular mode, and also your character's abilities and your special perks that you get for each character as well. All in all, I'll have to say this is a vast improvement over Borderlands 2. All things aside, the game by itself stands on its own. I love the overall design of each of the worlds. Each of the worlds are drastically different in terms of the geometry and how they look and how they play. The different gun companies, you basically will know when you pick up a gun, just by knowing what gun company makes it, what kind of idea type of gun you're going to be getting. And in the end, I can honestly say I'm having a blast with this game. Honestly, you would think it'd get repetitious, but a lot of the levels are actually designed very well. Now, I've got to point out some downfalls to this game. I can't give it all praise, without pointing out some faults that I found in it. First of all, while a lot of the bosses have some really cool mechanics that you can learn to beat, there are a couple of them that are rather cheesy. They will do certain moves that will make it to where you can get wiped out real quick, and I'm not really a fan of specific bosses in this game. When you get to them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, Nathan, come on, this game's great, and you'll get to a boss and go, okay, I see what he means. These other ones are really cool with these neat mechanics you have to learn, and some of them just have these overpowered cheeseball moves that are just not well implemented, that I can't say I'm a fan of. Other than that, I would say that's really the only downfall I have with this game, other than the fact it does have microtransactions in it. Fortunately, at the moment, it appears to be only cosmetic items, which I'm not really a big fan of microtransactions in a full-price game. Unless it's like considered like an MMO where they have to keep making money to keep the servers up. But in this case, I'm not a fan of microtransactions in games like this. But fortunately, at least for now, they appear to only be cosmetic only. Now, in the future, if they start throwing in stuff that actually helps you with the game, like getting better weapons and stuff like that, I'll call their butts out on it. But fortunately, right now, it seems to be strictly just cosmetics only. And other than that, that's really the only downfalls I can say with this game. It plays buttery smooth. Each of the playable characters has so many different variations of their moveset and their skill trees that you can custom make your character any way you choose. The constant weapons might get a little overbearing, but honestly, I love the fact that the overall variety of the different weapons you can get, the different abilities they have. A lot of the boss fights I absolutely love. I love the overall aesthetics on how the game levels are built, each world that you travel to. And in the end, I would have to say that Borderlands 3 is definitely a must-have title if you are a fan of the original Borderlands series and the Handsome Jack collection. If you like Borderlands, you already have this game probably. But honestly, I would have to say this is a really good sequel. This is a good way to make a game. Only with such minor faults with it, it's still so dang good. I can highly recommend it if you love looter-shooter action games, especially with all the plethora of Endgame content, the upcoming DLC, and just the overall variety of weapons and your ability to custom, tweak your character any way you choose fit. I'm having a blast with this, and I totally recommend it to just about anyone at its current price point. I wouldn't say wait. Go ahead and get it now. It's actually worth the money. This was Nate, a.k.a. Devil Dog, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Please hit that like icon whenever you like my videos. Hit that bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos. And of course, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil's in the details. Peace out.